By now, I've seen it all. I've made millions, I've lost millions, and then made it all back. In this video, I'll be sharing 32 lessons that I've learned that I wish I knew way back then when I started at the call center at 16 years old. And the first one is, don't choose comfort over risk. In 2021, I opened my first sports rehab clinic, and shortly after opening it, I got in contact with a care home. Their physio showed me on how to help the elderly walk again after a knee and hip replacement. I did this for about 6 months before I brought in my own team to handle it. But during those 6 months, I was working hands-on, and all I heard those residents say was, I wish I had done this, I wish I had done that. Their lives were just full of regret. I remember those conversations very well because they lit a fire inside me. They fueled me to get more aggressive about my goals. The more time I spent in the care home surrounded by regret, the more motivated I got by the dreams that I wanted to have. Imagine being 80 years old, full of regret because you choose comfort over risk, claiming you're too busy and exhausted. You're just missing out on once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. Sacrifice a few weekends, put in the extra hours, and seize what's right in front of you now. Don't let it slip. If you use your time well, you can make progress so quickly. Most people seriously underestimate the power of just 30 minutes. Let's just do the maths. 30 minutes a day, 15 hours a month, and a whopping 180 hours over the year. That's enough time to become a master at something, turn a side hustle into a booming business, or get in the best shape of your life. So the next time you think you don't have enough time, think again. I outperformed all of my competition in sales simply because I would spend 30 minutes extra every single day learning, reading books, watching YouTube videos, listening to audiobooks. I went from knowing nothing about sales to becoming an expert just because I put in the work every day. Which brings me to my next lesson. Every time you say, I can't, you reinforce the narrative of limitation. I hate these words, I can't. I'm tired. I refuse to talk to myself that way because your body listens to your mind. The way you talk to yourself literally changes your entire direction of your life. Instead of saying, I can't, ask yourself, how can I? Just because you make the simple shift, you start to view challenges as opportunities for growth. Question encourages problem solving and resilience, leading to personal and professional development. Your mindset is the most powerful tool you have. Use it to empower yourself rather than hold yourself back. The key is to always look for ways to move forward rather than staying stuck. And if you do that, it's just super easy. Your first goal should be to get to hit 8.3k a month. That puts you at 100,000 a year. This gives you some breathing space and allows you to be independent, but also enough money to hire a VA, personal assistant, and delegate some of the lower level tasks. I honestly wish I had done this sooner because I would have been where I am way earlier. I was the happiest around 8.3k a month because this level of income brings balance, freedom, peace, a few responsibilities. Focus all of your energy on hitting this milestone to simplify your life and enjoy true financial freedom. And of course, you are going to want to scale past 8.3k a month, but don't make 100k a month. Many people dream about 100k a month and they think this will transform their lives, but the money is not what it's about. What matters way more than your income is the skills that you build. Anyone can make 100k a month without any profit. If you just buy a shit ton of ads, that's not worth anything. The skills that you require are. Over the past year, I've consistently made tens of thousands of dollars a month, and over the past few months, I've made even more than 100k a month, and yet my life hasn't improved much. In fact, it brought more challenges and responsibilities. So focus on maintaining a lean, profitable business. With $30,000 a month, you can comfortably afford a good lifestyle, buying most things you want, and travel anywhere you desire without the constant pressure of a larger enterprise. So why don't I stay at $30,000 a month? For me, the thrill is in the challenge. However, unless you're driven for such ambitious goals like I am, I recommend sticking to 30 grand a month. Your code of conduct needs to be higher. Focus on maintaining high standards in everything you do, from your behavior to your work ethic, and I mean everything. Even when I get up and just go to the toilet, I do it fast at a high pace. If I was to take 10 minutes and just plod along and be slow, my people would think that I'm lazy, and then they'll take on those standards too. By setting a high bar for yourself, you not only improve your performance, but you also inspire all the people around you. A strong code of conduct reflects integrity, responsibility, and dedication, which is crucial for achieving long-term goals, success, and respect. It's just about committing yourself to excellence and consistently striving towards being a better version of yourself. And you can only get to excellence if you listen to your unhappy customers. Your most unhappy customers are your greatest source for learning. In 2022, when I first started consulting online coaches, I worked with them on every part of their business, and client after client would just drop me. For a while, I was thinking, I wasn't doing anything wrong. It can't be me, right? And that was until I found out about NPS, or a Net Promoter Score. With a Net Promoter Score, your clients can grade your services and give you feedback. And I remember it felt like I was getting a kick in the face when the scores first came back in. I got a 3 and a 4 out of 10. My clients weren't promoters, they were demoters. It was a tough pill to swallow, but it helped me find out what I was doing wrong and where to improve. And now I'm able to keep my clients happy effortlessly because I faced the early challenges and I learned from them. If you face those challenges early on, you will end up in a good flow, which brings me to lesson 8. Most of your growth will happen in periods of perceived luck. You make video after video and content after content, and then one day something blows up, but it's not luck, it's your hard work, it's the persistence that led to that breakthrough. Now your baseline is higher and the cycle will repeat itself. Don't ask to fast track luck, ask for the hard work to pay off. One of my favorite quotes is, "The harder I work, the luckier I get." And I used to always think I was in charge of everything, but as I got older, I realized that we all have certain privileges that also play a role. Some people might say I had bad luck growing up poor. I actually think it was a privilege because it gave me the motivation to build a better life for myself. And because of that motivation I had, I just went and tried to meet as many people as I could. And I learned that networking isn't just about who you know, but who knows you. My networking strategy is simple. Whenever I meet someone, I think to myself, what's the fastest way I can help this person without them doing a thing for me? And then I do it. And then this strategy has led me to many great friendships. Moving to lesson number 10. The customer isn't always right, but they're always the customer. Whilst customers may not always be correct in their demands or expectations, they are vital for your business and they should be treated and respected and cared for. Your goal should always be to make your customers win, no matter what. Because if your customer wins, you win. You don't have to argue about refunds. Under promise and over deliver. And I'm literally doing it right now. One of my coaching programs, nowhere on the products page does it say they get a one-on-one communication with me. Yet I'm still in the Slack channels. I'll still occasionally jump onto calls with them. Apart from that, there are 4 or 5 things that I don't even talk about anywhere, but I still do. By setting achievable goals and exceeding them, you build strong, trusting relationships with your clients, colleagues, and customers. Moving on to lesson number 12. Success is not about working harder, it's about working smarter. I have to be honest, I've never been the hardest working person in the room. The one thing I do is I work on the right thing at the right time. When I was working one-on-one with Alex Amosi, he explained to me how most people are working on the wrong things at the wrong time. He said to me, you should always be working on the thing that impacts your business the most. If Facebook ads is the #1 driver of sales right now, work on that. If it's TikTok, go make 10 videos a day. You have to start maximizing your output while minimizing wasted time and energy. It's not about working less, but it's about making the most of every hour that you work, making it positive, making it impactful. Whilst you're selling, you're always selling 2 things. Number 1, you're selling the outcome itself, the thing, the end product. Number 2 is the method. How are you going to get your customer there? And that's why when it comes to pitching, after you find out everything about them, your method of how you will help them has to be crystal clear. And you have to be able to break it down in 3 or 4 simple stages. So on every call, you're selling 2 things, the outcome and the method. And selling will be easy if you're building something that people actually love. That's why you should always try to build something 100 people love. If you just have one thing 100 people love, you will build a massive business. And that's why your first 100 customers are so important. You will never grow anything of enterprise value if your first 100 customers aren't completely happy. I can now say I've worked with over 100 coaches one-on-one on their sales process. Any personality, any niche, any CEO, I've seen it. Something I've learned from CEOs I've met over the years is that if you chase two rabbits, you'll catch neither. Every time I leveled up my income, it was because I've said no to more things every single time. It allows you to become more focused. You have to be willing to walk away from that shiny object to take advantage of the opportunity right in front of you. And sometimes that means that you have to let good things go. By focusing your energy and resources on one primary goal at a time, you greatly increase the chance of success and you avoid the pitfalls of divided attention and scattered efforts. And when you have that primary goal in mind, you need to keep shooting your shot, even if it doesn't work out the first time, because you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. A common thing that I see when training salespeople is that they're actually scared to call people. Don't be. Just call people out the blue. Don't be scared to double dial. You have to take the shots when they happen. What's the worst that can happen? I know that question's cliche, but it's true. If you remain passive out of fear, you just shut yourself out of all the opportunities and growth that you are going to achieve simply by taking action. Find success by just playing the infinite game. I personally find happiness in just sitting behind a desk and working on my goals. And if that's not you, that's something that you're going to find really hard, because it's just about playing the infinite game. You have to work towards something that makes you happy. I can easily work 100 hours a week because I just love doing nothing but working on the things that are building my business. And if you find that same feeling for yourself, there's no way you won't be successful. Poor men use money to look richer. The mindset often believes to a cycle of debt and financial instability as people try to maintain an image that doesn't match their actual financial situation. The focus is on appearing wealthy and not building real wealth. I make over 100K a month and I still drive a $1,100 Honda Civic. I used to be hesitant to talk about this or show it online, but it was mainly because I thought people would think I'm being fake in my business, or they think I'm just being overly frugal and they're going to judge me. But over the past few years, I've learned that frugality just drives innovation. When I restrict myself from spending money, it forces me to be more creative to find other solutions, which is exactly the mindset you should have, because if you want your dreams to come true, you should never let your dreams die. Many people panic if they don't find their phone charger before their phone dies, but they won't panic to find a plan if their dreams die. We all care so much about our phones. If we only cared a little more about our goals, if we give our dreams and long-term goals the same urgency and attention that we give to our everyday inconveniences, we can shift our focus towards what truly matters in life and take meaningful steps towards achieving our goals. And it becomes so much easier if you have people working alongside you that have the same goals, because real growth comes from having peers who talk to you regularly. I'm not the type to say cheesy things like, yo, your network is your net worth, but I really do believe that you are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most amount of time with. A couple of months ago, I was at Ravi Abavula's mastermind in Paris, and 20 other young multi-millionaires who run 7-figure businesses. Ali Abdal, who I met there and connected with his team. Iman Ghazi's friend James Blackwell, who I met and actually recognized him from the blogs. And I decided to show up 15 minutes early, and guess what everybody else did? Everyone was there 15 minutes early with a pen, pad, paying full attention, asking questions, eager to ask questions. And that's totally different from the people I was in class with 15 years ago. Class clowns who wanted to be cool instead of to learn. And I was actually one of them. And it's no coincidence that the people who are the most successful, it's all in their habits. So surround yourselves with the like-minded people of the person that you want to be. Something that I learned from one of my friends at the mastermind was that you should not always just be doing and in the business all the time. You want to be overseeing, you want to be having the vision. You need the time to actually oversee the business and actually have a vision to make it grow, not just be putting out fires every single day. Sometimes you just need to shut off from all the doing. When you can stop yourself from overthinking and overanalyzing, you can truly focus on the vision of the company. I read in the book Traction that you just have to have that 10-year vision. And that 10-year vision, you have to always be thinking about how can we achieve that even quicker than the 10-year mark. Someone asked me recently, If I only had a week to live, how much would I change? Of course I would spend more time with my family, but I would not be running away from my desk. Of course there's no reason for me to work anymore, but I don't hate my career like most people do. Most of you just want to run away from your job, and if I've not drilled home the point enough, it's been 32 years and I've finally found what I enjoy doing. When you find that thing that you enjoy doing, you just have to do more of it. But in the beginning, I didn't like sitting at my desk for hours on the end, but I finally enjoyed doing it, and that is the infinite game. I mentioned the infinite game because just like Naval said, if you can do the infinite game and you enjoy what you do, you just can't be beaten. Because it just takes me back to all those people that I met in the care home that I mentioned in the beginning of the video. Those people who are just full of regret. That is what I just did not want to have. And that's why I can work, I can make money, but the focus might not be on the money. It's actually on the inputs and enjoying the inputs. If you can enjoy those inputs, you will just make so much money, you just won't know how to spend it. Everything will be for free, like I say. Point 23 is it's what persistent is what makes it possible. When you keep trying, even when it's tough, even when achieving things seems so hard at first, persistence means not quitting. Even when you fail or progress is slow, by sticking to your goals, working hard, you can turn those difficult challenges into successes. Persistence helps you grow stronger and shows you that you can do amazing things if you just keep going. Another skill that you have to learn is to how to negotiate. Because you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. This means to get what you want, you need to be able to ask for it and work out a deal. Growing up, I haggled for everything. I grew up so poor, I just used to haggle everywhere, at the market, at every single place. I would often just get some amazing deals every now and again, just simply because I wasn't scared to haggle. I negotiated for literally everything. And no one is just going to hand you a good deal. You have to be able to work that out for yourself. In business, it's so important you speak up and make sure your needs are met by discussing and agreeing on terms. Being a good negotiator helps you achieve better results and ensures that you get fair treatment. And part of a good negotiation is owning up. Don't be a victim. This is a big one. I take responsibility for everything I've done. And if a client drops out, I get a complaint, someone talks bad about me, I just never point fingers. I always want to be at the top of the accountability ladder. Everything that happens is under you and your responsibility. The good, the bad stuff. It's like if you get a bad grade on a test, you'll blame the test, you won't study harder next time. But if you accept that you could have done better, if you accept that you could have worked harder and take control, it helps you grow and overcome those challenges. Which brings us to lesson 26. Do things whilst you're still excited about them. If you have an idea, do it immediately. Don't let it fade. It's like when you go to the shop and then you try on a top and you think, this is a really nice top, but you're just not sure if you want to get it. You're not sure if this is the day you're gonna buy this top, so you decide not to get it. And later on, when the urge goes and you're no longer there with the top, how often do you actually go back to get it? When the urge is gone, it's gone. So you have to be able to act decisively when you see something that you want. And it bleeds over even into productivity. When I need to do a certain task and it takes less than 2 minutes, I do it straight away. I just get it out the way. If it takes longer than 2 minutes, I put it on my to-do list. But either way, I take action on it immediately. This helps me move ideas forward whilst they are fresh. And this is especially true when you're still young, which brings me to my next lesson. Take risks in your 20s. Your 20s are for learning. Too many people want to become a millionaire in their 20s because Imran Ghazi did it, so why can't I? How much money you make in your 20s literally does not matter. The only thing that matters in your 20s is how much you learn, the skills that you acquire. And that's why you should just jump to opportunities. If you've got an opportunity to learn, you take it. Don't just be scared to fail. Start the business, take that job, try that investment. Now is time to learn. You'll be thanking yourself for the rest of your life. One of my main lessons I learned, that time and period is also stop idolizing things. I remember going through a phase in my early 20s where I was spending money on clothes. I would look at people on Instagram and just want to look like them, want to dress like them. Let me tell you something that is doing absolutely nothing towards your goals. Now I just shop at Suit Supply, just high quality stuff with no logos. I'm not trying to be a walking billboard. Skills pay the bills. I used to be really bad at reading books, but I knew that it was an important skill to have. Set like a note for myself. Every time I complete a book, I'm just giving myself a raise. And I just said it to myself again. Every time I read a book, I give myself a raise. This forced me to learn, and eventually I got into a flow of reading. Since then, I've read hundreds of books, and some of the most valuable lessons I've had have come from books. And those lessons that I got from reading those books have been the most valuable for me, because you can share the knowledge onto other people. To build a valuable relationships, you should always give more than you take. Every time I meet someone, I think of an emotional piggy bank. How can I deposit goodwill or put a deposit of something into their emotional piggy bank? In any relationship, you need to be the one giving more, because if you keep giving and providing value to the other person, you build up credit, and then if you ever need their help, you won't feel hesitant to ask. They'll always be able to give it to you because you've given abundantly more. This worked for me 100% of the time, and I would say now networking is probably one of my best skills, which I mentioned earlier on. Build a mindset of abundance, because the more you give, the better you feel. And if you give, it takes nothing away from you. Giving away knowledge, time is one of the best things you can do. There is enough for everyone. With everything that I do, I think, how can I make sure everyone wins? Because if everyone wins and no one feels empty, you will be able to repeat deals, and people will refer you deals, and you'll be able to grow further and further. Ditch all the people that don't have the same ambitions as you. And I know this one's hard, because if you want to achieve your goals, you need to ditch everyone around you that is not trying to get onto a similar level. Even if that means that you have to do it on your own for a little bit, because that's exactly what I did. I did feel lonely for a long time until I found that I actually could attract the right people towards me only when I can be better. I grew up having very few friends, but in my 20s I started working and I met other people who were into sales, who were into entrepreneurship, and by the time I'm now in my 30s, I attract the right people that I want to have around me. And that is just such an important lesson about attracting the right people. I can honestly say when I go through my phone now, I have the right people messaging me every single day. I don't have that negative energy around me, those people who are not ambitious, who aren't going to move me forward. But that would have never happened if I stayed in my initial friend group. Those are my 32 life lessons I wish I knew in my 20s. And since then, I've made millions and millions of dollars online. And in this video, I share my entire sales system behind my business. So if you click on the link on this side, you'll be able to access that video. Or on the left-hand side, you can subscribe to the channel. Comment below, tell me what you think of this video, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next one.